Hey, the son of the road haunts, and today I'm making a video about rating the full Roblox Spirit Halloween 2022 ideas. Now, this isn't a ranking video since those are annoying to make. This is just me rating each of them out of 10. Now, I will not be counting the flashback ideas or tabletop props just because they're not. I just want to rank the original life sizes. Now, licensed ones do count, since they do still have, like, a little bit of thought put into them. But, I'm also not gonna be, like, judging the modeling for these, because, like, it's way better than I could do. So, they're all great. And I must say, last year I wasn't a big fan of their ideas. Thought they were all kind of whatever, but this year I think they've really stepped up their game, and they're all just really awesome. So yeah, let's get into the first one, which is the Camp Nightwing Killer. Now, I do think this, I do think it's a pretty cool one. I love the Fear Street movies. I love the Camp Nightwing Killer especially. He was really freaky. And I like the animatronic too. I think the audio's okay. He doesn't quite have any quotes, so it works for what he is. Now, one of the only problems I have, it's like with Ellie Hatchet, because the way he's holding the axe, it seems kind of obvious the jump scare's coming. But that's really the only problem I have with him. I'd rank him about a 7 point. Yeah, just a 7. So yeah, Camp Nightwing Killer, 7 out of 10. Next one is the licensed Halloween Kills Michael Myers. Now, this is obviously from Halloween Kills, which I'm big on. I really like that movie. And it's a okay Michael Myers animatronic. Although, compared to the others, it's just kinda like, it's just another Michael Myers animatronic, if you know what I mean. There's not much different per se. And I think it would have been cool if they had him holding the bloodied silver shamrock mask. Or just something else. Just him simply with a knife is like, eh. I mean, the audio is just him breathing with the Halloween Kills theme. But not much to say about him. Just like, I don't know, I'd rank him a 6 out of 10. But anyways, the next one is Jason Voorhees from Freddy vs. Jason. Now, I don't understand why they had him from Freddy vs. Jason, because, like, this animatronic shows his face, and you never see his face in Freddy vs. Jason, so, like, I don't know why they chose to do that. I think it would have been cool if he was a part 4 or the New Blood, because those were my personal favorite ones. But, I mean, whatever. It's not a bad animatronic, but it's just, it's just kind of there, in my opinion. And there's not much to say about him, in my opinion. Just, I don't know, 5.5 out of 10. So, the next one we have is Art the Clown from Terrifier. Now, since my last video on the Shriek preview, I've now seen Terrifier, and I must say, I really like this idea. It's honestly probably one of my favorite horror movies. Now, with Terrifier 2 coming up, I'm really nervous for that. But yeah, back to the animatronic. I think this is definitely a very good one, in my opinion. I think it looks really good, they definitely, like, nailed the likeness. He has the garbage bag, which I think is an essential thing for him. And, he's just really cool. I like how they have the, eyes moving back and forth. It's probably one of the best Terrifier animatronics you could make. The only issue I have with it is that I think it would be really cool if he were, like, way more bloody, because obviously that's what he's, like, known for. But obviously, Spirit's trying to go family-friendly. They wouldn't, cover him in blood like later in the movie. So I'd rate him an 8 out of 10. I'd probably get him if he came out. But yeah. So the next one we have here is the Other Mother from Coraline. Now, this is definitely another one of my... I do really like this one as well. I've watched the movie multiple times. Like, I don't even know how many. But yeah, it's definitely very cool, very creepy. They use the phrases very well. The looks, like, spot on. I mean, not much to say about this one other than the obvious. So, I don't know, I'd rate this, I'd say a 7.5. I think that's, like, a pretty decent rating for it. Now, the next one is the Scream 5 Ghostface. It's... There's not much to say about it. It's just kind of forgettable. Better than the, Spirit Halloween 2022 one, that's for sure. But, I don't know, it's just kind of there. I'd say around 4 out of 10. It's not a bad prop, but it's not great and enamoring. It's just okay. So yeah, that's the Shriek preview out of the way. So next up here we have Infectious Bite, which I do think is a pretty cool one. I certainly don't think it's a terrible animatronic. Although, for some reason, it doesn't quite do it for me. I don't know what it is. I think maybe the zombies just look a little too, like, bland in my opinion. It'd also just be really expensive and, you know, I like it if it were a little bloodier, obviously. But, I mean, you know, not a bad animatronic. I'd, I'd give it about a 7 out of 10. A 7 is pretty much just a good average, you know? Yeah, so this next one is the Cornfield Creep. Now, I kind of liked him at first when he came out. Now, one thing I'm not sure of is if he would come with the corn. That would be kind of cool, but, you know, there's really not much to say. I mean, you know, it's a scarecrow prop, which is cool, but, like, I mean, if you want a good jump scare prop, just get, you know, Jack Straw. He's pretty much the same prop, just, you know, just sits up instead of lunges forward. It's okay. 4 out of 10. So the next one here is Maleffect Marigold. That's how you pronounce it. Now, this is a very unique one. A, it's a female clown, which is not common, but B, it, you know, has the whole chest burster flower thing, and maybe even a water feature, except that's, you know, barely anything. So this is, you know, very original. I don't quite like the phrases too much, and the voice isn't too great, but, you know, the look is fine. She looks like an innocent clown at first, like a waving Wally type thing, which is pretty cool. I mean, you know what? It's a pretty solid animatronic. You know, unique and all. Would have liked it if they just did a, like, alien chest burster, just, you know, from Alien or whatever. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It's still a cool prop with all that. 7.5 out of 10. Now, this next one is Anubis. Now, this is definitely a really cool one. He's just, you know, really awesome and unique. We don't see a lot of mummy props, and this is even a step above, because it's, you know, all, like, an animal skeleton and stuff. It's holding the kid, which looks really good by the mummy costume. Kind of reminds me of the K&T Do Halloween Harvester of Souls remake, which is just pretty cool. And I do really like this guy. One of the only problems I have is that his phrases just all kind of sound the same, like the same type of words, like sacrificing to the dead. But other than that, he's certainly really cool and solid. His clothing looks good. His, you know, face, everything about him is just, you know, really good. I'd say about an 8 out of 10, because I don't absolutely love him, but he is certainly really cool. Now, this next one is Bon Appetit. And I'll just say it, I think this might be one of my favorites from the entire lineup. They say he's 10 feet tall, except he looks to only be 7 foot tall. And I don't really like the 10-foot animatronics that are just only 10 foot, because they're just not very easy to store. But, I mean, I don't gotta worry about that since he's completely digital. So, and, you know, I don't even have ROBLOX and I don't want to get it, so. But all that out of the way. He is super creepy. I just love how the clothing looks, the colors and everything are all great. You know, the purple and blue color scheme, amazing. He glows under black light, which is also really awesome. Kind of a Harvester of Souls reskin. I I really like that part as well. The clown just looks super nightmarish and unique, which is just awesome. I love that. And his concept too of like eating the kid in the pie is just amazing. Like it's really damn cool. So I love this guy. And the only criticism I have though, which is kind of weird because if they did this, it would kind of ruin the prop a little bit more. Is that I wish the kid was a little more visible and obvious, but that's not even like a bad thing because like the way the kid's just inside the pie is really cool. But I'd probably give him a 9 out of 10 just because he's like completely awesome. But yeah, on to the next one. So the next one here is Vampire Overlord, and it's probably not very good if I forget that the animatronic idea exists. Now, in theory, this is something that I should really like, but I don't know why he just doesn't quite do it for me. I don't know what it is. I mean, I like that he has servos. I like his look. You know, the wings are cool, but he just doesn't quite call out to me as some other animatronics would. I just think he's very, like, decent. And, you know, he's unique. He looks more like a demon to me than a vampire. And I like that it has pentagrams and all, you know, more scary animatronics. But I just don't really feel this guy, if I'm honest. So I'd say about a 6 out of 10. In theory is really good, but in execution, just doesn't do it for me. So the next one here is Nighty Night, which I get was inspired from, like, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which again, I don't watch or play the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and I'm not going to. So, you know, obviously inspired. And I do think this guy is, you know, he is a unique concept. And I like ideas that are kind of out there with these kind of characters and stuff. Like, I've had some of my own. You know, I think it's a cool concept, and I like how he mainly looks, but I just find him to be kind of boring, in my opinion. And I mean, of course, I'm not, you know, trying to be mean to the developers. And, you know, obviously he's, you know, unique and really cool, but I just think his phrases are like, they're just very meh and like, okay, not very scary. And if one thing is like happy good face is a lot more scarier than his like evil moon face. I think they tried to make the moon face look like, I don't know, bloody or just sharper teeth, like scarier eyes. I don't know, just something along those lines. Maybe a skull. I don't know. I just think he could have been a lot scarier. It's like if, let's say, they made a cat animatronic and it would turn around and just be a dog. And I know that makes no sense, but it's like they're on the same level of scariness, so it's barely a jump scare in my opinion. But he's an okay animatronic. I'd say about a 4.5 out of 10. I just don't really like him. So this next one I actually skipped while going through all the videos to record them for this one. Not because I didn't want to watch the video, but just because I genuinely brushed over it, which I think speaks volumes on how this animatronic is. Now this Sweet Tooth, and I just don't quite like him, you know? He's a bump and go animatronic, which is definitely unique. But I don't know what he's supposed to be, if he's like a kid or a goblin. Maybe it's just because the video was really dark. His phrases are kind of cool, but I don't know. I just think he could have been a lot better done, in my personal opinion. I just don't quite like him. Again, it's just one of those type things. I also, if he's supposed to be a kid, then I don't get why he has like the voice of an adult or whatever. So I don't know. It's weird because technically he's a cool animatronic, but I don't know. I'm gonna settle on a 4 out of 10. So the next one here is Stomperus, which was the contest winner to see whose idea would get in. I don't know. Maybe if they do a contest like that again, I'll submit one. I mean, what's the worst that happens? It doesn't get picked. And I used to really love him, but he's kind of grown off on me a bit. Not to the point that he's a bad animatronic. Certainly think he's cool and the way he holds the, skeleton and all. He's very unique, just like, Deadly Roots, except gone human. I mean, he's cool. I like, the overgrown woods aesthetic of him. But, just overall, I'd say he's about a 7 out of 10. Just good. So the next one here is Belladonna, which is, I mean, it's a unique concept, but it just doesn't quite do it for me. I'm not quite a big fan of demon/possession props. Oh no, that's wrong. Not I don't really like possession props, demon props. I don't know what I said there. Forest demon, Baphomet, blah blah blah, amazing. But this I don't know. It's just okay. Um, like the Conjuring movies were kind of creepy, sure, but ghosts in like possessions, just don't do it for me. So I'm just not gonna repeat myself anymore. I'd say 6.5 out of 10. So the next one here, I'm not going off of names, so I've forgotten its name. But I know which one it is. So, this is the one of the spider eating the guy. And I definitely think this is a really awesome idea. Probably again one of my favorites of the lineup. I think it's really creepy. I love the big spider. It's pretty much Cocooned Corpse on steroids, if you know what I mean. Just Cocooned Corpse, they elevated it, took it to the next level. Like how gory it is with like the popping out eyes and stuff. And it's just really creepy the way the dude's twitching and stuff. I'd overall say an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty cool. So, the next one we have here is Arachnidia the Clown. And I'm just gonna say it. I hate to say it, but I think some of my favorites of the year with the ideas have got to be clowns. Which really shouldn't surprise me after all, like, 3 of my favorite horror movies that are not based off of fleshy monsters are based off of clowns. So, I really shouldn't be surprised by that. But, I I just, obviously he's really unique. No phrases, so kind of like meh on that department. His audio's fine. But, I mean, just super unique. Looks awesome. Love the swirly eyes again. I mean, it's just look at the damn thing. 9 out of 10. Really cool. Would buy. Looks like a setup would suck, though. Oh, and also the next ones I gotta rate and edit to do this will be from the Shriek Preview Part 2, which the first one sucked to edit, so woohoo! So, as I said, on to the Shriek Preview Part 2, but at least we're not starting off with a bad animatronic, which is Spikey from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now, obviously, I'm always welcome to another Killer Clowns prop. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Not because it was, like, scary, even though it has some genuinely unsettling moments. All of which were, the Clown Jumbo, which they just made a tabletop doll of. So, would have liked a life-sized one. But, Spikey's not a terrible one. Now, personally, if I were to do a Spikey animatronic, it would be in the puppet booth and it would pop up. I just think that's a little more iconic, but with the balloon dog also works perfectly well. I mean, I think he looks really good. I think they nailed the model. So, overall, I do like this guy. I'd say about a 7 out of 10. I probably would get, because that's pretty much my new rule with all Killer Clowns from Outer Space merchandise. So yeah, as I said, 7 out of 10. So The next one is Jack the Clown from Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, which all I know are just haunted houses in Universal Studios that, you know, have like movie themed haunted houses and stuff. Not quite my thing. I'm not quite a big fan of them. I have literally no idea who Jack the Clown is other than the Candy Do Halloween Uncle Charlie makeover video. Damn, I've referenced him twice in this video. So, I mean, I guess it looks like him. I don't know if they did the character justice or not. So, I'm gonna say question mark out of 10. That doesn't really say what I think about this because I don't really think anything about it. So the next one here is Freddy Krueger from Freddy vs. Jason. Now, I don't understand whether choosing both of these guys from Freddy vs. Jason, maybe like, I don't know, a licensing thing, even though they don't need licensing for, you know, the ideas. Honestly, I don't, even though I've asked for one last year, nowadays I don't really feel like another Freddy Krueger prop's really in line. You know, I'm not begging for one anymore. I mean, it's certainly a good one. I don't have any problems with it. Its movement just looks kind of robotic though, and I don't know. I just there's nothing this one does that the like Gemmy 2000s ones have already done. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna say a 6 out of 10. It's decent. So the next one was the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt. Now, again, I haven't seen Tales of the Crypt, so, again, don't really know how they did the character. But, I mean, I know more about him than I do Jack the Clown, that's for certain, so he's not getting a question mark out of 10. His phrases are okay. You can't really judge the phrases in audio of licensed characters since they almost 9 times out of 10 have to be from the movie unless it's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Terrifier because they don't talk. But, I mean, you know, I guess it's cool. I wouldn't see myself getting it. Probably, I don't know, it's pretty subjective. Sorry, I can English. Because I haven't seen it. So, for me, I'd say about a 6 out of 10. So let's thank the heavens, because I found about a million different editing things that made that preview so much easier to edit than last one, because the last one was a mess. So that's good. So the next one here is the Vivian Snatcher, which, again, it's one of those props that's a cool concept, but I personally don't like the execution. I think the way the kids who are in the chest are really good. Although, I have 2 problems with this. A, the voice, and B, I just really don't like how the head and hair looks. I think, I don't know why, maybe it's just nitpicky and personal, but for some reason it just feels wrong to me. I just don't really like it. But I mean, again, if you do, that's perfectly okay. Cool concept, but, you know, personally, for stuff like this, I'd rather get Ripping Reaper of Souls, which is one of those kind of props that for the longest time have been like, he's okay, but because everyone's been suggesting it, now that I actually look at him, it's like, whoa, that's disturbing. So, you know, I don't know, Ripping Reaper of Souls 2022 or 2023, hopefully, but anyways, let's get to rating the Vivian Snatcher. I know we've had a lot of 6 out of 10s recently, so I'm going to be original and say 6.7 out of 10, because why not? I was going to say 6.1, and then... Never mind, I don't gotta get into outright stuff like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, the next one here is Autumn. And, of course, this is, you know, one of the more whimsical ones, you know, more child-friendly and stuff. Which is why I'm not a big fan of it. Now, I've heard this was designed by Gino Haunter, so, you know, maybe I'm committing heresy by saying this. But then again, you know, I like the props he likes and stuff, and his art style, but I'm not quite big on like the. I don't gotta get on a tangent about other haunters. Sorry, that's just me. But anyways, prop itself. I think it looks pretty fine. I think I think the face for some reason is really creepy. Although I don't really like the nose. I don't quite like the phrases, uh, but that's perfectly okay. Um, Honestly, it's kind of grown on me as I think about it here. I don't know. I'll say 7 out of 10. If this is what you're in the market for, it's a great animatronic. So the next and possibly final one we have here, because I'm filming this, I don't know, before the themes are released, I guess. I mean, they should be out, but like, I don't know. I'm not seeing them. Maybe it's just because like I'd have to get ROBLOX or something. Or maybe I'm committing dunderhead because I'm not going to release this video until the themes are out. So like whatever. I don't know even know why I'm saying this. I don't know. I'm going insane because I've been recording for like 20 or 30 minutes straight. But I digress. This animatronic here is Swingy. Very uncreative name, so that's one thing. But I really like swinging props personally. I like I just like clowns in general, if I'm honest. Um, and I just really like this guy. His face reminds me of Fright in the Box a little. His color scheme appears to be red and white, which I'm kind of like about, because just standard clown colors. I thought he was gonna be purple and white like Hugs, but I guess you can't get everything in this world. But I think he's really cool. Um, I just really like him for some reason. For some reason, I don't even know why, but part of his phrase kind of sounds like Hugo Punch from At Dead of Night / Jimmy, I don't know, whatever. When he talks about making an arrangement. That's just me, I don't know. But, I think this is a cool animatronic. So, I'd get if it came out 7 out of 10. So it turns out Swingy wasn't the last one. And the last one is Failed Act, which appears to be this chimp in a cage in a clown costume. When we first saw it teased, I thought it would be, they're returning, what was it called? Like, just not a caged beast. I thought it would be a return of that, but it turns out it isn't, and it's instead this new one. It just makes chimp noises and rocks back and forth. I mean, it's a creepy idea, and it certainly is pretty creepy. But I just when you think Halloween, your mind doesn't automatically go to chimp in a cage. So that's not exactly a bad thing, but it's just not too scary in my opinion. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's a creative idea, but I just it's just a little weird. But I like the originality. So I believe, to the best of my knowledge, that those were all the animatronics that they have to offer this year. As I said, I didn't go over the tabletops just because not quite the main course. And also, I didn't go over the returning ones since, like, I could just go back to 2014, like, when they were made, just comment on those, since they're just models, so, not commenting on those. But anyways, let's get to the themes. Okay, I got these images from both Carved Haunts and CM Reaper Haunter, as I don't have the game, and I don't want to get it, so, just because, that's just me. But yeah, so the first theme here is the Backlot. Now, I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be. Like a movie studio backlot? I don't know, maybe I'm just being stupid, but, So, I do think this is a really cool theme, It's huge, right? It has a lot of animatronics. It has a fun like interactivity element to it with the like skeleton with the camera and stuff. The front arch looks awesome in my opinion. It really does look like a film studio to me. The walkthrough it has is very cool. But the only problem I have with just the Roblox Spirit Halloween themes in general, and this one makes sense because, you know, it's like in a movie studio, so it makes sense for this to happen. But I find that in their theme, they like to segment off, like, scarecrows go with the other scarecrows, clowns go with the other clowns, and just stuff like that. And I'm not a huge fan of that, just because I kind of like seeing them all blended together, if you know what I mean. So just having them all lumped together just doesn't really work for me, in my opinion, but that doesn't quite matter. Um, Now, I still think this is a really cool theme, though. I don't think it would be able to be set up in many stores if it were real. Um, Now, obviously, the left side of it is, you know, all the clowns, like Sweet Tooth, Failed Act, Swingy, you know, all those guys. And the right side is of a bunch of demons, and you can't really see it here in these images, but witches as well. So, you know, that's kind of nifty and neat, but, you know, it's... And finally, the back is just like the scarecrow type things with Nightcrawler, Barnyard Butcher, and just some other ones. Now, I do think is this cool theme, and, you know, it's really well detailed and stuff, but I just feel like there's a little too much going on, in my opinion. Like, it's just, you know, a whole lot to take in. So, for the rating of this theme, I don't know. I would love it if it came out, though. And it does have its flaws, but, you know, for the detail and, like, the size and all that, I think I'd have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Because, like, it's certainly way better than the themes I've seen in my time. Like the Dead Harvest Farmhouse, which in my opinion is, like, quite... maybe it's a hot take here, but I personally did not like that theme. So, you know, the Backlot, 8.5 out of 10. Okay, I apologize because I cannot find a good image of the front of this theme, so we're just gonna have to settle with this. But this one is the Spirit Horror Plex Theater. Now, I don't like this one as much as the Backlot. Now, I have had my ideas for a movie theater, and I do think it's a really good idea. And I certainly think the execution is good. The only real problem with it I have is how overgrown it is. I just don't really get all the vines and stuff that it has hanging and stuff. But, you know, it's where all the licensed characters are, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. Now I know that some of the other licensed characters are in, like, the other side themes, but I'm not gonna go over them since they're just... I mean, they're just cubicles. But, you know, this theme isn't bad, though. Like, it has... The left kind of segment has Jason, Jack the Clown, and Art. So, you know, again, combining two of the clowns together, you know. Then the front, you can't really see it in the images, but it has Ghostface and the Halloween Kills Michael. And the right has Freddy and the Killer Clowns from Outer Space animatronics. So, the walkthrough as well, it has one large screen. I would say they stole my idea for, like, just having a large screen there, but I really don't think it's an original idea for a movie theater, so, you know, I can't be one to judge. So, you know, that's kind of cool. It has Mr. Howell and Grimm in it. And, you know, the theme's not bad. It's not quite my thing, except I do like it. I don't know, I'm giving really conflicting messages here, but I don't know. I think just fully I'd have to settle on a 7 out of 10 for this one. And I do think it's really cool. Both of them are really good. And so, yeah, to me, it's just a 7 out of 10, which, as we've gone over before, is, like, good. So, there it is. Those are my opinions and ratings of the almost entire Spirit Halloween 2022 Roblox ideas. I don't know, let me see some of your thoughts in the comments below. I know I might get massacred for some of my ratings, especially on, like, Nighty Night and stuff. But, you know, if you like this video, like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.